Welcome to the Unspeakable, where we explore the darkest corners of human nature and shine a light on unsolved mysteries that continue to baffle investigators and haunt community. Today, we delve into a topic that is as chilling as it is fascinating: the brutal murders that were all committed in the name of love. What drives someone to take another's life in the name of passion? How do these crimes go unnoticed until it's too late? Join us as we uncover the secrets behind four of the most brutal love-related murders in history, and dare to ask the question, could this happen to you? Get ready for a journey into the heart of darkness, when the truth may be too unspeakable to bear. Case 1. John and Sarah. John and Sarah were in a serious relationship for several years before Sarah decided to end it. John could not accept the breakup and became obsessed with Sarah. Despite multiple restraining orders, John continued to stalk and harass Sarah. He would show up at her work, home, and even followed her when she went out with friends. Sarah was terrified of John and feared for her life. She reported John's behavior to the police multiple times, but they could not do much to help her. One day, John broke into Sarah's house, and what followed was a scene of horror. John brutally murdered Sarah by stabbing her multiple times, leaving her lifeless body on the floor. The police found him at the scene with a knife in his hand, and he was arrested and charged with murder. At the trial, prosecution presented a mountain of evidence against John, including Sarah's reports of John's stalk, John's previous restraining order, and the fact that John was found at the crime scene with the murder weapon. The jury found John guilty of the murder of Sarah, and he was sentenced to life in prison without possibility of. Case 2. Tom and Emily. Tom and Emily had been dating for a few months when Tom's jealousy and possessiveness took over. He would often accuse Emily of cheating on him and would constantly check her phone and social media accounts. Emily tried to reassure Tom that she was faithful, but his jealousy only grew worse. One night, during an argument, Tom's rage boiled over, and he strangled Emily to death. Emily fought back, scratching and clawing at Tom, but it was no use. Tom's grip on her neck tightened until Emily's body went down. Tom realized what he had done and fled the scene. The next day, the police discovered Emily's lifeless body in her apartment. An investigation quickly led to Tom's arrest, and he was charged with murder. At trial, Tom's defense team argued that he had acted in a fit of passion and was not in his right mind at the time of the murder. However, the jury was not convinced, and Tom was found guilty of the murder of Emily. He was sentenced to life in prison. Case 3. James and Lisa. James and Lisa had been together for over a decade, but their relationship had become strained. James began to suspect that Lisa was cheating on him and would constantly accuse her of being unfaithful. Lisa denied these accusations, but James's jealousy and mistrust continued to grow. One night, James's suspicions reached a boiling point, and he grabbed a knife and stabbed Lisa multiple times, leaving her bleeding and lifeless on the floor. He then called the police and turned himself in. At the trial, James's defense team argued that he had acted in a fit of passion and was not in his right mind at the time of the murder. However, the prosecution presented evidence that James had been abusive towards Lisa in the past, and that his jealousy and anger had been escalating for some time. The jury found James guilty of the murder of Lisa, and he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Case 4. Michael and Jennifer. Michael had been in love with Jennifer for years, but she did not reciprocate his feelings. Jennifer started dating someone else, which enraged Michael. He started to stalk Jennifer, showing up at her work, home, and even following her when she went out with friends. Michael's behavior became increasingly aggressive, and he would often threaten Jennifer and her new boyfriend. One day, Michael's obsession turned into a brutal act of violence. He followed Jennifer and her boyfriend to a secluded spot, where he shot and killed Jennifer and her boyfriend. Michael fled the scene, but the police quickly identified him as the suspect. After an intense manhunt, Michael was captured and charged with the murder of Jennifer and her boyfriend. At the trial, the prosecution presented evidence of Michael stalking and threats towards Jennifer, as well as his escalating violence. Michael's defense team argued that he had acted out of a broken heart, that he was not in his right mind at the time of the murder. However, the jury did not buy this defense, and Michael was found guilty of the murder of Jennifer and her boyfriend. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. While we hope you found our exploration of love-related murders helpful, we also recognize that it may have left you feeling a little uneasy. So, in the spirit of dark humor, we leave you with this thought. If you're currently in a toxic relationship, just remember that there are plenty of fish in the sea. And if all else fails, there's always the option of becoming a hermit and living in a cave somewhere. On a more serious note, we urge you to seek help if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence or stalking. Remember, love should never be a death sentence. Thank you for watching The Unspeakable, where we always strive to bring you the darkest and most mysterious stories of human nature. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.